Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, why one Chinese company thinks it's okay to film their employees in the bathroom.
Also, if you didn't think marijuana rats were a problem, think again.
All that and more on the way next. It kind of sounds like it might be happening, whether we want it to or not. A fight between Conor McGregor and Logan Paul. At least if Conor McGregor has anything to say about it. How else do you explain earlier this week, at Donald Trump's inauguration, no less, Conor McGregor confronted Jake and Logan Paul, and one of the things he confronted them about was he confronted Logan for not publicizing their rumored $500 million boxing match that's supposed to take place in India. Why do you go ahead and do this and bring this up if you're Conor McGregor unless you think it's actually going to happen and this is very advanced promotion of the fight? Like, I think it's going to happen, right?
That would make me think that there has been an agreement if he's like, hey, why aren't you publicly talking about it? And he's saying that publicly.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just trying to make a big stink about it so that Logan will agree to it.
Yeah, that could be.
You never know.
Obviously, he really wants it to happen.
Oh,
because if you were trying to avoid this or whatever, then, this is the opposite of what you should do.
Yeah, you wouldn't be bringing it up.
He confronted them. He rode in a van. I was confused about this. Was this on the way to the inauguration? Was this after? Why were they all meeting up? I'm confused about that, but they rode in a van together to the inauguration, I guess. It
almost looked like it was like a shuttle bus from like a hotel or something.
Yeah.
So maybe if people were staying nearby.
And they just so happened to I guess if you're all the rich guys and you're all staying at the same hotel. But still, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
What a coincidence. So in the van, he said to the Paul brothers, he says, I'm not going to try to do an impression, but he says, I'm going to slap the head off the two of yous. And KSI, you two are side jobs to him. And they responded, this is great. I don't know which one it was, but he goes, you side jobs, you can't even do your main job.
Ooh, get back in the octagon,
so
Conor.
Good, it almost feels like it was planned.
Yeah,
It was written ahead of time.
That's what I'm thinking here. Like they posted a selfie and like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they all look upset to be in it with Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor's smiling. And I think it's the Paul brothers' mom behind them. I'm not sure, but yeah, I was like, this feels very posed.
Yeah.
Like that they're actually secretly friends behind the scenes, which a lot of people believe that's the case with a lot of these like pro, boxers and athletes.
I didn't get the
stuff.
impression that Conor McGregor was legitimately angry at them either.
No.
He's not a good actor, I guess.
No, everybody around him in that video is laughing.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, oh, Conor, he's putting on a show.
I will tell you what, though, it makes me sad. Not for Conor McGregor as like a person, but just as a fighter, as an attraction. It used to be so exciting when he was, doing fights and whatever, and that he's stooping to this level. And I don't even mean that he would fight Logan Paul. I don't think that's stooping to a bad level, but this promotion just feels so cheesy to me.
Yeah.
That I'm sad that he has to do this because I used to think, I used to have a higher degree of respect for him as a promoter, and this seems sad to me.
Well, it's working. We're talking about it.
It is. And if they ever fight, when they fight, hopefully I'll be excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, as we've said when it was first announced, they got us again.
Mm-hmm. In China, a company has not even been outed. They've outed themselves for filming their employees while they're in the bathroom. Obviously problematic. The reason that they claim, let's hear them out. The reason that they've been filming their employees in the bathroom is because, and they're not the first company in China to do this.
Oh my goodness.
Because evidently with the culture in China from the employer's side of things is so extreme that they feel like employees are wasting too much time in the bathroom and sneaking away to the bathroom to maybe go to the bathroom, but maybe also do other things that aren't working. And so there's been many different tactics that companies have used in China to try to limit bathroom breaks, limit times that people spend in the bathroom. And in this case, this company has decided they've secretly installed cameras that were filming employees, and then if they caught employees smoking in the bathroom, playing video games on their phone in the bathroom, etc., stuff that they deemed as time wasting, they would post a picture of the employee in the bathroom on a wall of shame for all other employees to see. Now, I reckon, like, I can see the photos here too. The faces are blurred out, and I reckon from the angle, at least typically, the pictures aren't indecent.
Yeah.
But obviously, you run that risk when you're secretly hiding pictures in the bathroom or hiding cameras in the bathroom.
Right.
And nevertheless, it is an insane invasion of privacy that I guess in China you can just get away with.
I was going to say, I don't think China has the same type of laws as we do against something like this, unfortunately.
This would be very illegal here.
Yes. So, yikes. This is a rough situation. It's hard to hear that this is not the only company doing something like this, you know? So, yeah, this is not great.
So, here's my question then.
Okay.
Because let's say you're the employer here. You're this company. I believe it's Lixon Electro-Acoustic Technology Company. Let's say that it really is a problem that your employees are sneaking to the bathroom to smoke and play video games while they should be working. There's no good excuse for it. How do you limit it? Obviously, it's not like this, but what do you do? Put on your boss hat. What do we do here?
Oh, I mean, I guess what they're hoping is by putting it on their wall of shame, it will shame them into not doing that.
Mm-hmm. And scare the other employees that haven't been wasting time.
Right.
Or that maybe haven't gotten away with it.
Right. It's like setting an example or whatever. But this is just wild to me in every sense of the word.
If you're an employee here, like I feel like you could really get everybody to band together and like kind of start whispers around the office and just be like, hey, if we all waste time in the bathroom, whether they're going to post all of our pictures, then it doesn't even matter.
Oh.
So why don't we all next time just pull out our phones, start playing some Fortnite or whatever.
Just band together.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just all, if it's a wall of shame, but we're all on it, then it's not very shameful.
True. Good point.
So that's what I would do as an employee, as a boss. It is a difficult problem because I'm sure that but then again, I don't know, like it's also a problem. Would you know about it if you weren't hiding cameras in there? You could suspect that people are smoking, I suppose. That could be, there's other signs of that.
I mean, if someone's been in the bathroom for like 5+ minutes, I'd be suspecting something's going on. Maybe not immediately thinking that they're wasting time. Maybe something's wrong. But they could be sick.
Yeah,
there could be multiple reasons. So I just feel like I don't know. This is just so crazy. I just can't get my head around it.
I'm glad I'm not a boss that has to deal with this.
No.
Now, it seems the Mr. Beast is serious about buying TikTok. So thank goodness that Donald Trump signed that executive order to push off the enforcement and give some time for a buyer to emerge of TikTok, because Mr. Beast, after tweeting out earlier, okay, fine, I'll buy TikTok so it doesn't get banned, later on said, unironically, I've had so many billionaires reach out to me since I tweeted this. Let's see if we can pull this off. And then later on, his attorney confirmed to CNN that he is serious about buying the social media platform. Soon enough, maybe even within the next 2 months, Mr. Beast might own TikTok, at least in part.
Well, it needs to be within the next 2 months unless we get another extension. But that's pretty insane to see, another big, I guess, kind of online star. I mean, he's not the same as Elon Musk in the sense that they're not like both YouTubers, but I would say that are on par with each other as far as fame. And to see another one kind of throw their hat in the ring to get a social media platform under their belt it's interesting. I'll say that.
What if they, because Mr. Beast has a lot of money. I don't think he has enough money to buy TikTok on his own. No, I would be surprised.
It does say he's a part of a group of investors who are pushing to buy TikTok.
What if he and Elon Musk teamed up? I mean, Elon Musk could probably just buy it on his own. He's like the richest man in the world. But.
Right. I don't know if Elon would want that. I think he would want full control, just
That's
like what he has with X.
He wants all the attention and love. Mm-hmm. Mr. Beast, I don't know if he's got that kind of ego.
I don't think he would care, but I don't think he would want to go in on it with Elon.
Who would you prefer?
I mean, we can't
If
have
you
it.
had your druthers.
We can't. I mean, I don't use TikTok, and I won't use it if it comes.
Even if Mr. Beast buys TikTok, you won't use it?
No, because it probably will become a big ad for Mr. Beast.
Don't say things you can't take back. Come on.
I don't want to use TikTok. So, but I'm fine if a U.S. company or a U.S. businessman wants to buy it so that it is run by, a U.S. institution. I'm fine with that, but I just feel like I personally wouldn't use it. But I do think it would be better for this investor group to buy it rather than Elon Musk. And that's mainly because if Elon Musk already owns one of the bigger social media companies in the United States, then it's probably not good for him to own multiple.
Yeah, for variety, for competition's sake.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I don't know that in some ways, perhaps, but in many ways, Twitter has gotten worse since he's taken over. In some ways better, some ways not better. I don't know, besides the Chinese having our information, that I want all that much changed about TikTok. And so I hope Mr. Beast would just take it and just leave it the way it is pretty much and just keep our information safer, or at least give it to him. I trust him more with it. He's usually like giving people money, not like stealing it that I know of. So
yeah,
I feel like I trust him a little more with it.
He does seem to be ethical from what we can tell, but we don't know a lot about him behind the scenes compared to someone like Elon Musk, I think. So who knows? But if it's a group of investors, I feel like you're not going to get full control from one of them. So even though Mr. Beast is kind of a big name attached to that, I don't think you would be like, yeah, Mr. Beast owns TikTok, because it would be multiple people.
You could be right too. What if it's I hope Mr. Beast wouldn't do this, but what if the rest of the group of investors is very problematic, but Mr. Beast is like the nice face of it? And then it's like he's covering up for all the things that maybe we'd just rather have China have it for all we know, because it's all these evil billionaires. I don't know. I
don't think I'd rather have the country that films their employees in the bathroom. Sorry.
Good point. Now, I am going to open up the Hudson hotline here.
877-2-RADIO-U.
2 questions. 1, fair or foul for this next story? And 2, what is the craziest thing you've ever done to get revenge on an ex? No judgment here. But
we listen and we don't judge.
Fair or foul? I've got a gal on TikTok who said that her ex-boyfriend had the app for his thermostat on her phone. And so after they broke up, she turned up his thermostat with her phone to 95 degrees.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
First of all, what kind of thermostat goes to 95 degrees?
I didn't know that was an option, but I suppose it is clearly for this one. Doesn't feel like it would take a little bit of time to get obviously heated up that high.
The worst would be if he's not home when she did that.
Right.
And so he doesn't realize, and then not only is his house going to be incredibly hot, 95 degrees, I don't know, at this time of year, it might be kind of nice to walk into that and be like, ooh, it's a sauna. It's a sauna in here. But at the same time, you're not going to love that when you get your bills.
No.
Your electric or your gas bill.
No. One of the things, this is, if you want to know why someone might call you a psycho, this is why. I don't know this woman. I don't know if someone has ever called her this, but I'm on the verge of calling her this because I'm sorry. When this is your ex-boyfriend, you shouldn't be that obsessed with him that you're trying to mess with his thermostat. You know what I mean? Like, that's a little odd.
Yeah. I don't know. Your bar, I thought my bar was low. I always say to people, just move on. Like, the best revenge is not thinking about them at all.
Exactly. Let it go.
Yeah, but I feel like this is pretty tame. Like, this is one thing, you do this one time, you have a little laugh to yourself, you delete the app, you forget about it and whatever, and it's just like, it's a good story to tell your friends. I don't think it's really hurting you all that much.
I mean, I will say it's not terrible, but yeah, if you want to make him like get a little bit of a win in this situation, you did, because he's like, well, she's thinking about me. But I will say, in the comments of this TikTok, I think we did get the more unhinged
absolutely
revenge.
Some of the ones I'm seeing here are like, I really don't consider this a big deal. Some of these are dastardly.
These are awful.
These are straight up horrible. One
and
gal
some of them I think might be criminal.
Yeah, one gal she says that her ex left his Spotify logged in on her phone. She unliked every single song, playlist, and artist and deleted every playlist he ever made and then kicked him off the premium plan.
Oh my gosh.
That is, for me, that would be like a decade worth of work.
Right.
Undone.
Yeah, for me, that's close. Not quite a decade, but I've had my Spotify since about 2017. So yeah, that is just rough. Like,
I would cry.
Yes, I would be so mad. And so I feel like that is just taking it way, way too far.
Also, that would be after you have your cry, I would feel a sense of relief. Because then I could finally switch to YouTube Music and not feel like I shouldn't do that. Because I think it's cheaper and they definitely have more stuff on there.
Oh.
But they don't have my playlist that I spent so long making. Somebody said my ex's credit card is connected to the meter parking app. I haven't paid to park downtown for 5 years.
Oh my goodness, boy, get a new credit card.
How has he not noticed? How is it not expired in 5 years?
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, maybe this girl's making this up. But yeah, that feels illegal.
I waited about a week or so to cancel our Dish Network subscription with my ex because I wanted it to be in the middle of a football game, so I knew he'd be watching.
Oh my goodness.
That again, that's on the verge of, like, that's really bad, but like, again,
that one's not as bad as some of the other ones, but it's still just so
if you're
petty.
gonna cancel it anyways,
right?
I just, you can have a end with a flourish, I feel like. And then this last one, this is so, I don't know how long you go on doing this, but she said my ex's email was logged into my phone. Whenever he made dinner reservations, I would cancel them.
Oh my gosh.
Can
I just tell these girls one thing real quick?
Sure.
Get a life. Please. Get a life.
It's weird. I don't see any guys hopping in saying the things that they did to their gals in the comments.
I just want to know, what did these guys do to deserve this?
Seriously.
My Lord.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably did something. Oh boy, we got a food fight on the Hudson Show, and it's fun when we have a food fight that you just know is going to be good. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like to have a little mystery, a little surprise, but in this case, we've got Reese's, and I don't need to tell you anything else. You just know we have Reese's, you know it's going to be good. Mm-hmm. Reese's is one of my favorite of all the candy bar, the chocolate bars, and in this case, it is their brand new...
I was going to say, show it.
Chocolate Lava Big Cup, which apparently is so good, they've already decided it's a permanent addition to their lineup.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yeah.
So people must be liking it, giving some good feedback.
Yes, I think so. So maybe we can add on to that, or maybe
It's such a big cup.
There actually could be, maybe it's a possibility that this could just be a total miss, I guess. Maybe adding chocolate lava to a Reese's just doesn't work.
I doubt adding more chocolate will throw me off. I'm here for it.
You know how they say there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's?
Okay.
How do you eat it?
I usually just take a bite off the side.
Yeah. In this case, I'll do that.
Okay.
That's not how I would normally, but...
You can explain how you normally eat one.
It's got like, that really is lava. Like it's a little
Liquidy?
liquefied.
Okay.
Yeah. Somewhere in between solid and liquid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't actually taste all that different from a regular Reese's.
Yeah. It just has more chocolate than peanut butter.
It has that little hint, that little extra hint of whatever the chocolate lava is. That's a little slightly different chocolate than you expect in a normal Reese's, but definitely good. Mm-hmm. And since it's a big cup, there's so much peanut butter, it makes me happy. What I normally would do, the way I would eat it, is I would eat around the outside. Or peel off all the ridges.
Okay.
To take off some of the chocolate so that I get even more of a peanut butter to chocolate ratio. So I'll deconstruct it. So that I get to have the peanut butter by itself.
That just seems like it's taking a lot of time.
But there's no wrong way. You can't tell me.
I mean, sure.
The commercial said so. Told me so.
If you want to eat it that way, you can. But for me, I'm like, I'd rather gobble it up real quick.
Yeah, sometimes, for me, I like to savor it. I like to really make it an experience and really enjoy the Reese's. And just really take my time with it and enjoy it and have fun. But I like that. I'm going to take some time with it. I'm going to take my sweet time, even though it might make the food fight a little too long.
Yeah.
If I was to do it all on camera.
Right. If we were to make you finish it while we were still doing the food fight.
Also, that method may not work as well because of the chocolate lava that's involved.
Yeah.
It would drizzle out everywhere, probably get on the equipment.
Yeah, and your Buffalo Sabres jersey.
Yeah.
Don't want that to happen. I mean, they did just get a win, so.
Yeah, they did. So I'll probably just have to eat it the normal way, even though there's no wrong way.
You just said that was a Freudian slip.
Well, I mean, I know it's not my way is not the normal way. That doesn't mean it's wrong. In fact, which by definition means that it's right. It is the correct and accurate way because it's not wrong.
I think the normal way, as you described it yourself, is probably the way that most people eat it.
The normal way is a fine way because it's also, there's no wrong way. And so if you want to eat it the normal way, or you're like me, you're a little more creative, you're a free spirit.
You want to take your time.
Yeah, you want to enjoy it more and savor it more. And yes, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
All right. Thumbs up to the chocolate lava Reese's.
Very, very good. Good job, Reese's. Well, have you ever heard of just a little pitcher out of Pittsburgh named Paul Skeens?
I have. Paul Skeens, the man with the mustache.
Yeah, man with the mustache, man with a great pitch.
Did he win Rookie of the Year this year in the
That would be the National League. I believe he did. A great player, obviously.
Yeah.
Generational talent from what we've seen from him as a rookie. Amazing.
And made a name for himself in college where he got very popular as well. And I don't know if he still is dating Olivia Dunn.
Yes, he's still dating Livy Dunn, who is a gymnast. Yes, but more importantly, there was a card that Topps, which is the baseball card producer company, put out. They had announced, I think, earlier in 2024, which was an MLB patch debut Paul Skeens card. And this was a 1-of-1. Did you hear about this when this came out? It's autographed.
Vaguely remember this, but I know I don't collect cards anymore. My dad's still super into it. I know how cards work.
Yeah.
And a 1-of-1. I don't even think you need to know that much about cards. That means there's one, it's numbered, there's one of them.
There's one of them.
There was one made.
There's one of them, and sometimes there are ones that are made that are 1-of-1 and they're not of popular players.
Yeah.
But this
it's just like, who cares?
Right. But this happens to be about one of the most popular players currently and a Rookie of the Year. So huge deal. Well, an 11-year-old out of California who is a little baseball card collector. Love that. I'm happy to hear that baseball card collecting is still going on because I thought it was kind of a dying art, in all honesty. So I'm happy to hear that, 11-year-old kid is still interested in that. He pulled this 1-of-1 Paul Skeens card.
Congratulations to him.
Oh, it's so awesome. He has now a big decision to make.
Okay.
As one would imagine.
Yeah.
Because the Pittsburgh Pirates, who is the team that, Paul Skeens is on, has offered him a pretty insane offer. Their offer is 2 season tickets behind home plate for 30 years, a meet and greet with Skeens, 2 autographed Paul Skeens jerseys, a softball game at PNC Park for 30 people, as well as Pirates coaches and alumni. So you'll be playing with Pirates coaches and alumni there. A private tour of Pirate City and Lecom Park, and batting practice with the team, and other unnamed unique experiences. So pretty chocked full of lots and lots of things. However, things got more interesting, because there's also a generous offer from a famous collector named Ken Golden. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
I don't recognize the name.
He is the guy that helped the person that caught the Shohei 50 ball. Or I think it was just the 50 home runs at that point. He helped him auction it off for $4 million.
Wow.
So he said before anyone takes this deal, and I think this was before they had announced that the one of one had been found, but he said before anyone takes this deal, email me directly. Golden Co., which is his company that does these auctions, will sell the card for you. You can put your kids through college with the money from the sale, and you can use the leftover money to buy entry into a meet and greet with Skeens if you want. He's like, just ask the last guy who turned down an offer from an MLB team how that worked out for him, which is so true.
Yeah.
Because I think he had been offered somewhere around like $200,000, $300,000 for that Shohei ball, and obviously ended up getting $4 million.
Yeah.
So he made the right decision there.
This is weird. Why do the Pirates even want this?
I don't know. I guess they just want it because most baseball teams do have like a historical collection of things.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to Cleveland multiple times and they've got like this bat was used by Babe Ruth, or this is Satchel Paige's glove or whatever. And so, or like here's a seat from old municipal. They have the old stuff. And so I feel like every team does have like a historical record.
Yeah. I mean, this kid would be crazy to take the Pirates offer, right?
I mean,
like he'd be a lunatic. He doesn't even live near Pittsburgh, does he?
He lives in California.
So what would 30 years of seats behind home plate do for him for the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Yeah, to be fair, Pittsburgh did put this offer out there before the person had found it, before the boy had found it.
So they need to tailor their offer to him?
Yeah,
I don't care what they tailor, though. The Pirates don't spend money on actual players. They're not going to spend money to get this card.
No, I think he should definitely go with Ken Golden, who's probably going to get him millions of dollars for that card.
Oh, yeah. You come on, kid. I am glad it's an 11-year-old and not, not somebody, if my dad pulled it, I'd be psyched because then we could get the money. But somebody like my dad, some like 50-year-old dude, I'm glad it was a kid that got this, because I think that makes it more fun.
Because most of the time when someone wins the lottery, it is someone older or something like that. This feels like very, Willy Wonka-esque, like Charlie pulling the gold ticket out of the chocolate bar.
Although he's 11, it's not like he accomplished anything, but at the same time, sometimes when things like this happen, I'm like, what if that's the coolest thing that ever happens to you? And you've got 70 more years to live?
What if...
Maybe he could have kids one day. That'll probably be cooler.
That's probably a big deal.
Get married.
What if there's a surprise third option?
What do you mean?
What if he keeps it?
And hope it appreciates?
He's a collector.
He's young. What does he even need money for right now?
He might want to wait.
I don't know, but what if Paul Skeens blows out his elbow and never pitches again?
It's one of one. I think it'll still be valuable.
Love him or leave him on the Hudson Show. Whenever you've got relationship issues that need to be sorted out, Allie and I and the RadioU audience are independent mediators ready to help you find a solution. 8772-RadioU. In this case, this one really open to interpretation, I think. I don't know, at least to me, I don't know if there's an easy answer, but let's give it a shot. So we have a gal who says, my boyfriend and I usually spend weekends together, which is our time to reconnect since he's still in college and I'm not. However, he texted me that this weekend he wants to stay home for a guy's weekend since his friends are back from break. I offered to visit him instead after work, but he said he'd rather I didn't so he could focus on his friends. The issue is these guys' weekends often seem to include girls hanging out too. Am I overthinking? How do I handle my jealousy in this situation? 8772-RadioU. I feel like, first of all, I wish we had a little more detail.
Yeah.
That could lend a lot of context to this. But nevertheless, we just got to deal with what we have here. So, is she being a little too jealous? Is the boyfriend acting suspiciously? 8772-RadioU. Or should he prioritize her over having a guy's weekend in the entire first place, no matter what's going on there? 8772-RadioU. We need to know your thoughts on this love 'em or leave 'em situation. So that we can get some good advice for this couple.
Yeah.
8772-RadioU. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll see what people are saying coming up. Some of the comments coming through. We heard from Alex, who says if jealousy is something you've struggled with long term, it might be helpful to talk to a therapist. They can help unpack those feelings and find healthier ways to manage them. So kind of coming down on the side of maybe you're being a little overly jealous here.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't necessarily sound like something is amiss or afoot with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Another person just got in says, honestly, let him have his boys' weekend. Meanwhile, you could throw your own girls' weekend and make him the one feeling left out for once.
Yeah.
A revenge girls' weekend.
I mean, I'm in full support of that.
Invite Allie. She wants to come. She's not busy this weekend.
Actually, I am, so.
Yeah. What do you think, Allie? You're a girl.
Yeah, okay, so I gotta be honest, I am not really understanding why this is such a big problem. I know she says she has struggles with jealousy, which is tough, but I feel like if you flipped the situation on its head and this was a guy talking about his girlfriend wanting to have a girls' weekend, I think that really makes it clearer that there's no problem in this at all. And I feel like if his friends do end up inviting people over at some point or another, you can't control that.
Right.
And that's also not your boyfriend's fault. So you can't blame him for that. So I feel like you should just, maybe take this weekend to be like a self-care weekend, one where you're just focusing on doing stuff by yourself. Or you could have a girls' weekend and kind of get your mind off it in that way. If jealousy is something that really, really makes you struggle and you're like constantly texting or something. But I really do feel like if you switch this and talked about it from a perspective of like, this is a boyfriend wanting a girl to not have a girls' weekend, then it would be like, oh man, clingy, real clingy. This is a problem. So I feel like we can't knock this off as like, oh, she's just jealous. It's like, no, this could border on a really unhealthy obsession. So don't let yourself get to that point.
There's a lot of potential assumptions to be made, and we don't have all of the details for us in the history of the relationship. But from what we know, it doesn't sound like he himself, she doesn't describe it as him having a history of,
like cheating or
hanky-panky.
Any reason not to trust him.
But you're right. If it was a guy complaining about girls having a girls' weekend, the assumption is the girls would just be hanging out, not doing anything problematic.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the assumption is that the guys are hanging out, they're probably getting up to trouble, which I don't love. And I do think as a guy, as anybody in a relationship, it's healthy for you guys to not spend all the time together, even though you normally spend weekends together. He needs to have time for his friends too. Yeah.
Did you get to Aurora's comment? Because she said the exact same thing. She said having a weekend to hang out with your friends is healthy. It all comes down to trust. Do you trust him or not? Yeah. This is a situation to test that. Do you trust him or not?
I agree with that. I do. The other side, though, because I feel like we haven't heard a lot of actually people coming down saying that it is suspicious. But Lindsay says, first thing, very sus. Also, I think it's super immature take on the guy's part, because if you guys are a couple, shouldn't you be able to hang out with him and his friends and it not be weird? If not, then you guys got to think about that. It cannot be weird, but that also doesn't mean that you have to hang out
every single time.
Yeah, you don't have to invite, as the gal, you don't have to invite him to everything you ever do with your girlfriends and vice versa. Sometimes it's good to have just some space for each other.
Just to have a weekend.
Yeah. So I think we're coming down on, don't be too suspicious.
Yeah.
If you have actual evidence or signs that something's going wrong, then go with that. But it doesn't sound, as far as we know, like that's the case.
Yeah.
So let him have a fun weekend with his guys, and you do something fun yourself.
Right. If you have those really bad jealousy issues, I really liked the first comment of like, maybe seek some help for that.
Yeah, there you go. The police in Houston, Texas have a rat problem, but it gets worse. Not only do they have a rat problem, they have a drug-addicted rat problem.
Oh, my goodness.
Apparently, in Houston, Texas, rats have somehow found their way in to an evidence storage area. And, of course, in that evidence storage area is oftentimes drugs, things thought to be drugs. And the rats have gotten into that as well. And so now they say they've got 400,000 pounds of marijuana in storage that the rats are the only ones enjoying.
Oh, no.
I thought marijuana wasn't addictive.
Right.
Maybe for rats it is.
I guess it is.
For all we know. And whether it's addictive or not, the rats just can't quit. I'll tell you that much. So that, I don't know how you go about, obviously, eradicating eradicating. Obviously, eradicating a rat problem is hard enough. Forget about when you've got evidence in there to deal with, and the rats also are possibly chemically addicted to the substances that are inside there.
Oh no. Like you said, I had no idea. I don't know about marijuana as a substance, how addictive or not it is, but this does seem like a pretty big problem. Like first cocaine bear and now the marijuana rats.
Yeah. I guess the marijuana rats in some ways could be much more harmful and destructive than a cocaine bear would be. Because I mean, a cocaine bear, if it's in the forest, it's not around people, and once its cocaine supply
around people, that was the problem.
Once its cocaine supply runs out, it's not going to know. Oh, I need to go to the city. That's where the cocaine is. So I feel the rats, though, like they're already in town. I feel like they're just going to keep causing havoc.
I think both were equally bad. I don't think they need to be mutually exclusively bad.
I'm just saying the rats you could easily make an excuse for why the rats, an argument for why they would be worse.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously they could potentially cause a lot of damage to important things, which is evidence for sure. That's important in any case, no matter what. So that could be bad, but I feel like they're both bad.
An expert on the situation, Peter Stout, who leads the Houston Forensic Science Center, says they're edible, they're tasty, they're all kinds of things. You can't store large quantities of drugs without expecting some of these things to happen.
Oh.
I never heard that before. It's bound to happen. The rats are bound to get into all of these drugs.
I hadn't even contemplated it before, but it makes sense. I mean, if it's in some dirty closet somewhere in the back dark corner, rats are going to get to it.
He says they have hired exterminators to get rid of the rats. However, it's not that simple. There are 1.2 million pieces of evidence currently being stored by the city police in Houston. It's a big city. And so far, they say they only have one active case that has been affected by the rat problem. That's another thing to take into account.
Right.
These are being stored for a reason.
Yes.
They are, like, not only are the rats just eating marijuana in general or other things that could be in there problematic for the rats and just for cleanliness. Also a problem for what if you're somebody that's on trial and this completely messes up the
your
court
evidence.
case.
Yeah. Evidence is very important to a case. Even if a case is closed, or a case is cold, evidence is important.
It could play a role one day. These rats, in a odd way, maybe they play a part in setting a criminal free. In a very roundabout way. Like I said, they could be even more problematic than Cocaine Bear.
Imagine hearing that headline, like someone is acquitted due to marijuana rats.
Dude, I don't know how the legal system works. I hope there's a workaround for that.
Yikes.
I hope there's a backup plan. What a fine Thursday it is. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Hudson hotline here.
877-2-RADIO-U.
You can send in the most embarrassing way you've ever gotten injured. We'll start with you, Allie. What is the most embarrassing way you've ever injured yourself?
I have, I guess, two that I could say. I remember when I was pretty young, I was playing with some friends, and we were on like a tennis court, and we were riding like little ride toy things, not like bikes, but toys that had wheels.
Okay.
And one of them, like I was riding, and it basically went up on its hind wheels and like bucked me off. Like it just, I don't even know how to describe it. And so I fell on my butt on the hard tennis court, and I ended up really severely bruising my tailbone.
Oh no.
To the point where I like struggled to walk for like the next day or two.
Yeah.
And I've actually never really fully recovered from that, and have had some issues with that in the past. So that's not fun. But then also probably my worst injury is I broke my wrist in 2022. It was July 4th. I was at a celebration at a park, and I was walking with one of my old bosses, and we were just talking. We were walking to a food truck, and we were on the sidewalk. And I just happened to, I guess, step wrong on the sidewalk. I'm like walking and talking with her, so facing a little bit towards her, and ended up putting all my weight as I fell on my right arm and just slammed into the concrete, and immediately almost passed out and broke my wrist.
And
it shattered.
No good reason why you fell like that.
No, there's no reason I should have fallen. Zero reason. And whenever anyone asks me, because I have this massive scar on my wrist from having to get it repaired. Whenever someone asks me about how you broke your wrist, I'm always like, well, it's not that great of a story.
No,
I wish it was better.
No, but we all have our embarrassing injuries, and I don't want you to feel bad.
Okay.
Because none other than possibly the best golfer in the game right now, Scotty Scheffler, has a very embarrassing, some might say embarrassing, way that he's got injured that's kept him sidelined out of the golf game at the moment.
Okay.
So I'll share that, and anyone else that wants to get in on the Hudson hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
With their most embarrassing injury, and we'll just all try to make each other feel better, share a few laughs. We'll see what people are saying and see how Scotty Scheffler got hurt. The Hudson hotline is actually open.
877-2-RADIO-U.
If you want to admit to the dumbest, most embarrassing way you've ever gotten severely injured. Allie, you told a story of how you just randomly fell and shattered your wrist.
Yeah.
Jonathan says you should just tell people it was a gravity surge. You can make up a story now. That's the fun thing.
I know.
Nobody will know you're lying.
No, I feel like everyone knows I'm not cool enough to have broken my wrist in an insane way.
Just say you're a skateboarder, aren't you? Just say you heard it longboarding. You're trying an ollie.
Longboarding and skateboarding are not the same thing.
You ollied over all of your friends and then wiped out at the end.
You ollied.
I don't really know how it works. Aurora says, I once banged my finger against a brick while untangling my dog. Our yard isn't fenced in, so he's a tie out for when he's outside. Ended up losing the nail. Thankfully, it grew back okay.
Oh, that's never fun.
That's no good. There's some other good ones here, but I should mention the reason I brought this up is Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, yes. Tell us about Scotty.
He's one of the best golfers in the world, if not the best at the moment. However, he's been sidelined. He hasn't been competing in any of the early season events or the TGL or anything like that right now. The reason is he had to have surgery on his hand around Christmas time because there was many small glass fragments in the palm of his hand. It says a puncture wound to the palm of his right hand that was caused by broken glass that apparently he got the glass in there while he was preparing homemade ravioli at Christmas time.
Oh, no.
So whatever he was doing with the pasta or whatever, it says that the vessel he was presumably using to extract the individual pieces from the sheet of pasta dough shattered. And glass in his hand.
Oh, that's terrible.
Apparently pretty bad because he hasn't been able to play golf for a while.
I would imagine if it's your hand, yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back for the Masters and everything, although he's not one of my favorites, but I'd still like to see him out there.
Yes.
We also heard from Phil. He says, I broke my toe kicking my pants off. And Phil, be honest, were you trying to kick them off and catch them in your hand? Because doesn't that feel so good? Nobody's around to see it, but you just impress yourself. You're like, I really did that.
Or have you ever tried this?
With my underwear? Yes.
No, I've tried this one time where I tried to kick off exercise shorts or something and land them in the hamburger. Oh, yeah. That's so dumb. Why did I admit to that on the air?
Kobe, you called before. Katie says, when I was about 12, I was driving a four-wheeler on my grandparents' farm. Four-wheelers, why is any child allowed to have a four-wheeler?
Oh, yeah, that can get dangerous.
I know it's not going to end well. Her 8-year-old sister was riding behind her. I thought it would be a fun idea, Katie did, to drive the four-wheeler under our swing set. No, Katie, you didn't. The swing caught the front corner of the four-wheeler and flipped us straight up and crushed my sister. I was hurt a little bit, but I really hurt her as the metal bar on the back dug into her back, and I feel like her back problems to this day started then.
Wow.
I had a friend that had a four-wheeler and flipped it over on himself, and he had to get a liver transplant or something.
Oh my goodness.
It was internal bleeding, horrible things.
Yeah.
He's fine now, though.
I had a friend that almost died running a four-wheeler into a brick wall. He was really young, maybe 12 years old as well. So, yeah, four-wheelers, they can be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but I feel like all of these people, I don't know about your friend, but I feel like my people that I know that got injured by four-wheelers would be like, but I'd still I wouldn't imagine growing up without one. Brian said, I bent my collarbone due to falling off a porch. I was trying to avoid a kiss from a girl. She was my ex-girlfriend's best friend, but my ex was there, so I had to escape fast. Brian, you ladies' man. Oh, no. Is that embarrassing or like, are you just like, you got it going on like that, you know?
But hey, you escaped, so I guess it worked.
Yeah. My story is, I feel like it's not as bad, but I had to get 8 stitches in my ear to put my ear back together. Apparently, this was at church. I was like 9 years old. It was a function thing where I was causing ruckus and being the center of attention, not like doing anything wrong, but just like, hey, everybody, look at me.
Yeah, being a 9-year-old boy.
And one of my friends, my parents maintain anyways, when I went to sit down from, being the center of attention, pulled my chair out from behind me while I was trying to sit down. And so I missed the chair and hit my back of my head on the table that it was by, and I cut my ear wide open.
Oh my gosh.
And so 8 stitches later, I think that's the only time I got stitches.
Yeah. That does not sound very fun at all.
Yeah. So, but hey, we all have these stories, so none of us should feel bad. It's bound to happen.
Susanna says
especially if you have a 4-wheeler.
Susanna says she dislocated her rib by taking too deep a breath.
I don't know if we can top that. Radio U, where music is going, 8772 Radio U. Good morning, Nikki. Welcome back to the Hudson Show.
Good morning, Allie. I don't care about Hudson. Allie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And I guess, Hudson, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. And Nikki, I'm glad to share this with you. You know, we don't just randomly have you on the show. There's a reason for it. And in this case, as so often is related to bears. And Nikki,
I was wondering if it was the Florida weather or bears. It's like the two choices everybody's talking to me about now.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't want to hear you complain about the Florida weather when the rest of us are dealing with like 0 degrees.
Hudson, it's 50. Do you know what it's like at 50? It's really bad.
It's like the equivalent of our 0.
Yeah.
It is. I had to wear socks, guys.
But what I'm thinking, Nikki, I know you love bears, and what is the one thing that could be better than spotting a bear in the wild, giving it a hug? What if you could be a bear yourself?
Oh, now we're crossing the line. I don't get into that stuff.
No,
but like
I've got a chance for you, and it is a completely above board. It would actually be helpful. It would be helpful if you could be a bear.
Okay.
I
will walk with you on this journey. Let's see.
The opportunity I'd like to present you with is moving to India, where farmers are being forced to don bear costumes to scare away the monkeys from their crops.
Oh, interesting. So are there bears in India to where like that's a scare tactic for monkeys?
Well,
or
what would be scarier, if you've seen bears and you're a monkey, or if you've never seen a bear and then you see one for the first time? I feel like that maybe they don't have bears in India, but maybe, I don't know, they've got, like there's sun bears and stuff. Maybe they get down in that region.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's true. Can I click on the article? He said, don't look yet.
You have to look at the pictures.
Yeah,
you definitely have to see these pictures.
And take it in.
That's a Temu bear costume, guys. That is not premium. That is not even a bear. Is it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be a bear, but tell that to the monkeys because they're afraid of it all the same. Why?
I like how the farmers take turns to wear it. Like
I know, I was seeing that they pooled their money together. Somebody made like a Venmo group and they're like, all right, guys, everybody chip in. I've got this cockamamie scheme. We're going to get a bear costume and we'll take turns rotating around the town and scaring the monkeys, cosplaying as a bear.
Well, it looks like they are taking this seriously because they said that they've lodged complaints with the village head, officers, and like forest officials, and no one's doing anything about the monkeys. So they decided to address the problem themselves. Even though it looks more like a gorilla, like the body of it doesn't look like a bear.
I mean, the face of the bear is literally like plastic.
It doesn't even look like that too. It's like I don't know what that is.
I know.
It just doesn't look right.
It's very malformed plastic.
Yeah. But Nikki, if you can...
RadioU is just damaged in delivery. It's fine.
Your goal is to scare away the monkeys. Why spend thousands of dollars on an expensive, realistic bear suit when a Temu costume for $26 will get the exact same results?
Oh, I think you're being generous with 26. I was thinking like it's $1.99 flash sale on it, and they had it. If not, someone had some old costume. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I never thought I'd say this. You got to protect your crops.
That's
okay.
right.
And if the monkeys are bothering you and no one will fix it, you got to do it.
You got to take matters into your own hands, into your bare hands.
Into your claws? Paws?
Paws.
Into your bare
It'll have to be
paws.
you, Hudson. No, I'm not doing that.
Do you think the monkeys are going to get used to this at some point? Like, monkeys are pretty smart.
Probably, and then this seems like, what's that horror movie company, like the A whatever?
A24.
And they're coming out with that's it, where they're coming out with like all the weird, like scary little creature things. This really does look like that's their version of the bear.
Yeah, this is, it's kind of like Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
The monkey movie, because they have a monkey one coming up.
Yes.
It's that old toy monkey thing.
With the
so
symbols. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the monkey
It's
that's
symbols.
yeah,
Yeah,
ding, ding,
that
ding.
looks scary to me.
Yeah.
come on, Allie, do it again. Ding, ding, ding.
It's got that weird smile on its face. I always think of the Phantom of the Opera with that, because I think that's in
really?
the Phantom of
yes.
the Opera. Yeah.
That's right.
I wouldn't have made that connection,
but
but
that's what I did.
This
She's
is-
harder than you. That's fine.
that's right. And we'll leave it there. Thanks, Nikki. It's the
You're
Hudson
welcome.
Show.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.